Peace and love, everybody. What's going on with you? This is JudahSon for Put It Out There TV, or wherever you may be viewing this at. It really doesn't matter where you may be viewing this at, what YouTube channel, what website, because it's all distributed and owned by Put It Out There TV. So regardless, JudahSon for Put It Out There TV, regardless. But I have a question. Can citizens be sovereign? And before you jump off and ask that question because you're one of these people who've been sitting on YouTube for hours and listening to that bay and that L and that L day, bay and that all day, I really want you to think about that before you answer that question and look at the chart that we have here on the screen. I need you to pay attention to this chart that's up here on the screen before you answer that question. And while you're looking at that, I'll go on. By bringing up this question, of course, you guys should know that I am addressing the whole sovereign citizen thing that the media companies like to use as a term of degradation or a negative term. They get all this negative connotation built around sovereign citizen term, so much that, people that are being identified as sovereign citizens, they want to stay away from it because we are all aware of the negative connotations that are being placed on this term by the media companies, marketing companies, right? Best salesmen on earth. So let me tell you what we're looking at here. What we're looking at on the screen here is a county government organizational chart for Erie County, not Erie County, Ohio, Erie County, Pennsylvania. Now the reason why we're looking at this chart is because it was the most readily available and it's universal. This chart is representative of any government organizational chart within the so-called United States. Now, you can break it down like it's a pyramid scheme, but as you can see at the top of that chart, at the very top of this chart, or pyramid if you will, you see that it says citizens of Erie County. And up under, because we like to use stand under, understand, and we like to say it's under the jurisdiction. So understanding of the citizen, we have the clerk of records, the county council, the controller, the coroner, the county executive, district attorney, the sheriff, court of common pleas. And you see how it breaks down like a family tree. You can see that. So now that I've asked you earlier on if citizens can be sovereign, what is your answer now? And the reason why I'm asking that is because what is the term that the government likes to use for itself? What are two terms that we would think are in contradistinction of one another that so-called government officials like to use for themselves? Public servant and sovereign. Sovereign capacity. They say the government is sovereign, right? Fine. What we're going to do is we're going into the Constitution for the United States of America. And we're going to go into a portion of the Declaration of Independence. And it says here, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Let's go back a little bit. It says that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Yet you have to where the government is saying that they are sovereign. So if this document here says that they get their just powers from the consent, the permission of the governed, and they say that they are sovereign, then what does that make the citizen? I don't want to hear nothing about nobody that y'all been listening to for 18 hours a day on social media. I'm done, because I'm tired of a lot of these guys. I'm tired of a lot of these dudes. Some of these dudes either have never known what they were talking about, they were charlatans, or they know that they are wrong. But something is up. Now, my question is, seeing that this document here says that those who say that they are sovereign get their power from the governed, and they say they're sovereigns, who is also sovereign? The citizen is also sovereign. I have to make that clear. The citizen is also sovereign. So why is it now, all of a sudden, right, in the last 15, we'll say 20 years at the most, all of a sudden there's this negative connotation on the sovereign citizen? Why is that? But at the same time, people are calling police, the mayor, the governor, the district attorney, the judge, the city clerk, they're calling all these people authority figures. How is that? How is that? And what I have come to surmise, and I am willing to say that I may even be incorrect, is that sovereign citizen is a very feasible term, because a citizen is not a subject. There are levels of citizenship. We know that. And we can get into that at a later time. I don't want to drag this out. There are levels of citizenship. And some people will even dare say that the highest level of citizenship is a national, right? Well, if that's the case, the national, the citizen, holds the highest seat in government. Therefore, if those who are governing gets their consent from these people here, yet they're public servants, then that means that if the public servant is sovereign, the master is sovereign. So what they want to do is put all this negative connotation around sovereign citizen so that you will be comfortable with a fraudulent ass backwards operating government to where the public servant is authority when he is not. That's why I let them know when I deal with them. And I don't care whichever one of y'all may be watching this, you are a public servant. And when you are dealing with me, you will be treated as such because I am above you and you have willfully put yourself in a position to be below me. I am your master. The citizen is sovereign if the government is sovereign. And I'll be damned if I will call a public servant, whether it goes all the way up to the president of the so-called United States government, my master, my authority. He is my servant. The mayor, where I domicile at, is my servant. The county clerk is my servant. The police, they are my servants. The judge, my servant. Why? Because I am a sovereign fucking citizen. I'm up out of here. Thank you so much for your time.